Hello students, welcome to your channel Matchless Mentor. I am your English teacher Soma ma'am. Today we are doing a very motivational chapter on the face of it. This is from the book Vistas, author Susan Hill. In this video we will do about the author, introduction of the lesson and the summary of the lesson. So let's begin. This is about the author Susan Hill. She was born in 5th February 1942 and she is still alive. She is about 79 years of age, and these all details are given over here. Although you don't get any question about the author, but as your question paper pattern has got changed to MCQ, so we cannot predict. You may get any question. The major facts about the author should be known to you. So these are the facts which you should know about the author. Just for the reference, you can pause the video over here and you can refer to these points about the author. Okay, now let's move into the introduction to the lesson. Now this story is about a teenage boy, Derry, who has a burnt face, and Mr. Lamb, who is a disabled old man with an artificial leg. Everybody made fun of him. This artificial leg was made up of tin. And this boy, Derry, accidentally he enters the garden of this old man, so that he can hide himself from the people who hate him because of his ugly face. Now Mr. Lamb not only welcomes him in his garden, but also encourages him to lead a normal life, leaving behind his past. So this is the overall gist of the lesson. Now let us get into the details, points of the lesson. Now let's begin. Now the summary of the story. The story begins with a teenage boy entering a garden. His face is burnt on one side due to an accident when acid fell on half of his face. He has gone there to hide himself as he is afraid of facing people. He fears being teased by others for having such a face. But when he enters, he finds someone already present there. He tries to leave the place, but he is stopped by the old man, Mr. Lamb, the owner of the garden. Now this video is being presented by Matchless Mentor, and I am your English teacher Soma ma'am. Please do consider subscribing and share it with your friends so that they also get benefited from this video. Now let's begin. Let's continue with the story. Derry feels guilty for entering the garden without permission. Mr. Lamb welcomes him and tells him not to leave just because of his presence. Derry wants to leave as he thinks people don't like his face, and moreover, see the attitudinal difference between the old man and this small boy. The small boy, Derry, he feels guilty about his activities. He came here to hide himself from others. On the other hand, Mr. Lamb, although his garden has been intruded by this unknown boy, but he is so happy. Now Mr. Lamb insists him to stay there. They enter into a conversation that how Derry is not liked by anyone and how he hates people behaving like this with him. Now see you, I have given just a pictorial depiction just to show that how Derry must be feeling, and on the top of this you get a small character sketch of Derry. Although at the end of this video I have given the character sketch of all the three major characters in this play. Okay, so Derry was a teenager who was highly pessimistic. Pessimistic, you all know, children? Pessimistic means a person who always looks at the dark side of things. And he was withdrawn from the society. He avoided the company of others and remained lonely because one side of his face was disfigured by acid. एसिड से जलने से बच्चों का किसी का भी बहुत ही बुरा हाल होता है. Now Mr. Lamb tries to console him. He tells him that he has a tin leg and kids make fun of him. Still, he is not depressed and enjoys his life. They both talk about various things, and this leads to revelation of Derry's fear, depression and hatred about his being in such condition. But Mr. Lamb keeps on telling him to think of the positive things. Soon they became friends, and Mr. Lamb asks him to help him in plucking the crab apples of his garden. See children, you can see the picture of crab apples garden. Derry tells him that he had come too far from his home and hadn't told anything about this to his mother. Mr. Lamb tells him to take permission from his mother. This is very important. You must take permission to go and meet a stranger, that too so far away from his home. Derry finds it difficult, and this leads to a small quarrel between both of them. There was a little bit of this quarreling type, argument type between the old man and the small boy. At last, Derry tells him that he would come back after taking his mother's permission. And see students, when we will be doing the details of this chapter, you will see that while the conversation continues, in the beginning, Derry will be how the transformation of the small boy will take place. While talking to the old man, his transformation you will see clearly when we do the lesson. Very soon I will be releasing the audiobook of this lesson. So till then, let's watch the summary. Now his mother, this Derry's mother, does not want him to go back, but he comes back again to fulfill his promise. He actually argues with his mother and to meet Mr. Lamb, and then he comes back to Mr. Lamb. Meanwhile, Mr. Lamb climbs the ladder on his own to pluck the crab apples, as he was sure that Derry would not return. He was disabled and it was difficult for him to climb. Mr. Lamb falls from his ladder and dies. Although he had a very sad ending, but before his death he just gave a new life to a small boy who had lost all his faiths over life. So this was the reward for that old man. Derry, on the other hand, returns to the garden to help him. When he enters the garden, he sees Mr. Lamb lying on the ground. Derry tries hard to make him move, but did not get any response from him. Finally, he comes to know that he is dead, and he starts crying. Now, see children, this story play, this is actually in the form of dialogue. So this is a play which explores the importance of human connections and relationships. Although these two people, they were unknown to each other, they were strangers to each other, but how soon they get connected with the connection of humanity. The play builds a situation where two characters with physical deformity and disfiguration accidentally bump into each other and exchange views about their lives in a society which had alienated them. So you get a lot of question on these points, that what were the difference between these two persons, that is Derry and Mr. Lamb, and what were the similarities between, what were the connection, what was the similarity between these two people. You get a lot of questions on this, especially long questions. Now see here, I have given a short character sketch of all the three major characters which you come across in the play. This is, first one is Derry. You can see the picture. Acid is being thrown. Somehow acid has fallen on his face, and the deformity takes place. So Derry is a boy of 14 with a burned face, looks ugly. He's loner, he's pessimistic, suffered from severe negative complexes, anger, frustration, withdrawn and introverted. Low confidence, indulged in self-pity, suspicion of the intent of others. So these are the points what you should write when you get Derry's character sketch. Now Mr. Lamb is an old man with thin leg, lonely, craved for company and acceptance, very jovial, optimistic, lover of nature, social, outgoing, tolerant, helpful, sensitive, independent, didn't mind children calling him Lammy Lamb or picking the crab apples. So nobody can simply tease him. Always he was happy. Now the lastly, it is Derry's mother, who has very few dialogues in the play. Then also I have tried to give a character sketch of her in case if you get any question on her. So Derry's mother seems to be simultaneously overprotective and not understanding of her son. She contributes to his isolation. मतलब वो जो थोड़ा लोनली फील करता था, उसमें और उसको लोनली फील कराती थी वो उसका पापा दोनों, both the parents, they used to make him feel more lonely. How? By keeping him home because of his facial injury, and treats him with a sense of pity that robs him of dignity and agency, essentially treating him like a perpetually helpless victim. So this actually was not helping the child. In this way, the child was getting harmed by the overprotection and not giving any respect to her son. So this is more or less the thing what you get in the lesson. So thanks for watching, and very soon you will be getting the video of the audiobook of this play. I hope you have understood the chapter, and meet you again in my next video. Till then, bye, and keep reading, keep studying.